The Dodge Charger is a four-door sedan. The Camaro and Mustang, those are sports cars. The Challenger, that's the only true American muscle car left. And I'm here to tell you that this is the best of the bunch. This is the 2016 Dodge Challenger RT Scat Pack Edition. 6.4 liters and 4,200 pounds of nostalgia in excess.
With the Scat Pack, you get cosmetic features like the stripes, the cluster, the blacked out trim, and the badging. And you get comfort features like a leather-wrapped sports steering wheel, unique seats, and keyless entry and starting. But you also get performance upgrades like 4-piston Brembo brakes, a Bilstein high-performance suspension, a chin spoiler, 20x9 lightweight wheels, and of course, the 392 cubic inch 6.4-liter V8.
And while the Scat Pack's 485 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque fall a couple hundred short of the now legendary Hellcat, the truth is, the Scat Pack feels faster.
So how does that work? Well, the Hellcat has more than 200 additional horsepower with the Scat Pack and nearly as much extra torque. How could the Scat Pack feel faster? The answer is nearly always is in the engineering.
Listen, no one's challenging the Hellcat's power or acceleration. It'll beat the Scat Pack's 4.5 second 0 to 60 time by a few tenths of a second and absolutely dominate its 12.2 second quarter mile time by more than a full second. So what gives? Well, the Hellcat was designed to dominate the drag strip, and the gearing on that beast will take you all the way past 60 in first, and second will take you most of the way to the 100, but the Scat Pack's gearing is shorter, and that means that it shifts more frequently. More importantly, it means that you get that punch of fresh power more often. In fact, the Scat Pack's shorter, closer spaced gears will actually pull harder than the Hellcat initially, and that pull is what makes muscle cars fun. Want proof? Well, Dodge performance pages of all the data you need here with G readouts and timed readouts of your 0 to 60, eighth, and quarter mile times. You can also change the settings of your throttle, your steering, even your safety systems for your preferred performance, but I'll leave you to do your own tests there. The scary thing is, if the Scat Pack was fitted with wider tires and stickier rubber, it would pull even harder. There's not a lot of traction to be had here.
Of course, none of this would usually add up to great gas mileage, but this can actually boast 15 city and 25 highway miles per gallon. For better performance at the pump, SXT models come with a 3.6-liter V6 that'll do 19 city and 30 highway, while the RT's 5.7-liter V8 will do 16 and 25 with the 8-speed automatic. Of course, if you really want to thumb your nose at environmentalists, the Hellcat's supercharged 6.2-liter V8 will manage just 13 city and 22 highway with the automatic, and an even worse 13 and 21 with the 6-speed manual.
None of this is helped by the weight. At 4,200 pounds, this is the portliest of the current crop, and you feel that weight in everything that you do. But really, that's what a muscle car is supposed to be. Big and fat and fast, mostly in a straight line. And while the Challenger does handle better than you'd assume, especially with this Bilstein suspension setup, you really just can't out-engineer 2 tons worth of bulk. Thankfully, they didn't even really try. The Challenger has a nice, supple ride, the nicest of the current crop. And that means that you can drive it for hours without needing to have your kidneys replaced. In fact, the whole thing has a level of refinement that I haven't found it in the Mustang or the Camaro. And that's not something I can usually say about a Chrysler product. I mean, these seats, these are all day comfortable and they're really supportive too. And the back seat is actually usable for adults. I mean, anyone under 6 foot. Even better is the trunk space. At 16.2 cubic feet, it absolutely destroys the Camaro's 9.1 or the Mustang's 13.5. And combine that with a real usable back seat, and the Challenger is the most practical of the muscle coupes out there. Plus, it's got a 5 out of 5 overall safety crash test rating, and it'll drop from 60 miles an hour to 0 in just 105 feet. So, you know, it's good for first-time teen drivers too. It's easy to let the numbers do the thinking, especially with something like a muscle car. If a little is good, more must be better, right? But power numbers alone do not a muscle car make. There has to be something said for the experience, and at a certain point, feeling fast is more important than just shaving off another 1/10 of a second or two. After all, there's always going to be a faster car. Look at the Tesla Model S. But when you can put together a vehicle that so perfectly captures the muscle car experience, it's easy to pick a winner. This one's mine. Okay, now you can hop on down to the comments section and tell me why I'm wrong. While you're there, don't forget to subscribe, and if you want more details on the 2016 Dodge Challenger RT Scat Pack, click the link in the description. You can head over to CarGurus.com and read my full review.